It's not surprising that the Switch 2 got hacked. There are plenty of hardware thinkers, hackers, homebrewers, and jailbreakers that will figure out all the ways and methods to hack through it. And it's also not surprising that Nintendo is able to detect the oddities of the hardware and patch them out in the latest firmware. It's just a huge back and forth between hackers and console manufacturers, and I blame neither side for doing what they're doing. I'm just enjoying the show. Pirates are fuming right now. Not really? This is just another day for pirates and jailbreakers, another obstacle for them to overcome. This is an absolutely expected behavior from Nintendo, and it's only a matter of time before we find ways to overcome them. It doesn't change the truth that pirates are indeed fuming. They are not fuming at all. This is expected behavior from Nintendo. Again, they'll get through them eventually, just like many other Nintendo consoles in the past that they have abandoned. I am glad Nintendo is stopping piracy. Too many people have gone too far. Well, I wouldn't say I'm glad they did, but I will say that stopping piracy is an action that should have been expected out of any hardware or software company. Not Microsoft though, they're okay with their OS and Office being easily cracked. I guess they're an exception. Also, what do you mean they have gone too far? The more piracy happens, the stronger Nintendo becomes. I actually agree with this statement. Nintendo does get stronger with pirates and jailbreakers finding vulnerabilities in their system for them to patch. But the fanboys just pretty much admitted to everyone that Nintendo needs those pirates because otherwise, those vulnerabilities will remain unpatched. I do have to remind people about this point regarding piracy. I'm not anti-piracy, but I think some of you should admit that you don't care about game preservation and just want free games. Yes, you'd be mad to think people don't want free games with no strings attached, but you did say one huge misconception, that pirates don't care about video game preservation. They absolutely do. Preservation is exactly how they get their free games. If you download the game, the files will be on your storage device, whether it be hard drive, SSD, or microSD, but there is a restriction that applies when you try to run it. It's called DRM. DRM will verify if you actually own the game, and they will unlock if your account has the key for it. Pirates crack the game by removing the DRM. When the DRM is removed, the game is just pure files and software, which means you can run them anytime you like in the platforms that can run them, whether it be the native hardware or an emulation platform, without DRM having to ask whether you own the game or not. That's the way video games are preserved. They are turned into pure files that can be played and executed at any time in whatever platforms that are compatible with them. It's the same with any other media. EPUBs or PDFs can contain books or comics. MP3s or FLACs can contain any sound-based media. MP4s or MKVs can contain any visual and sound-based media. Again, pirates do care about game preservation and any media preservation in general, because that's how they got them for free. Not just free of costs, but free of corporate restrictions. Speaking of restrictions, this video is definitely not restricted for all the free viewers out there, but still, if you like the video so far, don't forget to click the like button, comment, subscribe, and leave some tips through any of these means, including YouTube membership, links below. Thank you all the sponsors this week, you're all fantastic. Console fanboys absolutely love their exclusives, but they hate it when PC gamers are getting their exclusives. You say it's not a big deal, but here you are as a PC gamer with absolutely no unique AAA games, at least nothing recent. I really don't see why we need unique AAA games to compete against console gamers when the benefits of our platforms lie beyond exclusive games. This is what happens when you're brain rotted by console exclusives. You come to Nintendo because we pay, and in return, we get unique Nintendo games. Not really. No, you're pretty much getting the same old games from the same old franchises. People like you are the reason these are getting locked down. Yes, pirates are the reason Nintendo is strengthening their hardware security. It's actually good for them if you think about it. The same goes for PlayStation. It'll come to the point where all games will be online only because of crap stains like you. They already are crap for brains. PC gamers care about exclusives. No, we don't, but okay. That's why you come to the console side, because PC doesn't offer jack. We're still on the PC, doofus. We're just playing the games that you have. And you're salty that we can do that without having to buy your expensive piece of hardware. When you have no alternative, you have to buy. Well, yes, but you can also wait for them to be on sale, be on PC, or better yet, not buy at all and find something else that's more worthy of your money. Oh, I see. So just because they're making record profits, it's okay to steal? Yes, actually, that's how all these anarchists love to think. For real though, it depends on the morality of the person, but whether you think it's right or wrong to pirate digital products, they're still making record profits despite how easy it is to pirate them. It's almost like most people find piracy risky and too much for them to learn. Companies really shouldn't worry about pirates. They should worry how to market and sell their products better. The Nintendo Switch 2 is insanely successful. There is no way the Steam Deck is able to compete, right? At least in terms of sales. I truly don't understand the point of this. It's a Steam Deck user emulating Super Mario Bros. Wonder. They want to play Nintendo games on their Steam Deck. It's really not that difficult to comprehend. Instead of supporting games you obviously want to play, you steal them. Well, I don't know about that guy. He might have bought the game or he didn't. But if you ask me, yes, I'd rather spend my money on bills than support a billion-dollar corporation that's already been supported by billions of other people who don't emulate their games. But you don't have to worry because I'm way too busy playing games these days anyway, and most of my gameplay sessions consist of watching no commentary long plays on YouTube. Not exactly easy to find a legitimate copy of No One Lives Forever 1 and 2. Are all Steam Deck owners dense? Well, if you're just gonna hurl insults at each other, I'd argue the dense one here is the one buying the game when they could have gotten them for free. This isn't a flex, it's ridiculously ignorant and a bit childish. Ignorant and a bit childish? Isn't that just the overall attitude of people that flex in general? This is a flex, and it is ignorant and childish, but considering that Super Mario Wonder is not made for the Steam Deck, it is a well-earned flex to be able to play it there. Video games are never that deep. It's not worth the mental energy you may waste to explain. Then I suggest not participate in any video game discourse because making dumb takes is what gamers always do online. And you're just staring at the abyss. Here's a take from 2021, but it is as timeless as classical music. Video games are generally stupid and a waste of time, as are most forms of entertainment. Yeah, I absolutely disagree with you on this one. I think there's a lot of value in playing video games. If you are stressed out and you need something entertaining, then video games are great for your mental health. The same goes for any forms of entertainment, which you included for some reason. Unfortunately, I'm way too busy to play video games lately, but I have been watching a lot of movies, TV shows, and anime when I'm having lunch or dinner, and every single one of them gives me something valuable to think and talk about and widen my perspective. Oh, and audiobooks, they are incredibly underrated. It feels satisfying going through the James Bond novels when I'm on commute and I need something to listen to. Pick up a book or go outside. I have picked up books. Have you guys read Casino Royale, the original Ian Fleming James Bond book? It's fantastic. The Live and Let Die book is just as bonkers as the movie, and I'm currently reading Moonraker. I also walk and jog almost every day listening to the audiobooks of those. You can find them on YouTube along with many other amazing audiobooks. What more do you need? Back in my day, we had to get up to even change the channel on the TV. Okay, old man, what does that have to do with anything? You kids can sacrifice the virtual bloodlust and get some exercise. Okay, old man, I think the only person who should get out and perform some exercise is the loser that complains about other people online. Glass houses, I know, but at least my takes are better. Let's get back to even more gaming discourse. I love how the console wars got more serious that even Sony's former exec had to step in. Sony's former exec hopes that Nintendo fans might graduate to more mature systems. I love the shade towards Nintendo there. It is true that Nintendo is filled to the brim with more family-oriented games, but that's not a bad thing as long as the games are good. The Thousand Year Door is one of the greatest games of all time. Most of Sony's games are more mature in tone, putting Astro Bot aside and arguably Spider-Man, but being mature is not always a good thing, like The Last of Us Part 2, featuring scenes that we'd rather bleach our eyes out. This whole remark genuinely reminds me of that commercial that I saw on AVGN that threw the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo into a box called Toys. The console that threw it into the box? Panasonic 3DO. If you've never heard of it, don't be shocked, but if you do watch The Nerd, it should sound familiar to you. While PlayStation basically calling Nintendo Toys isn't as bad as the 3DO, it does have a similar energy. I mean, say what you want about the PS5, but this generation has been incredibly underwhelming, especially when PS6 is on the horizon. Seriously, Sony, you're gonna have to take notes on how underwhelming this generation is. Speaking of passive-aggressive insults, this sounds like an insult. Imagine bragging about playing Super Mario 64. Why imagine? Super Mario 64 is awesome. It's a great game and still fun to play to this day. I did play it before my time got absorbed by work. The guy was quote tweeting a tweet of someone bragging about their Steam Deck while dissing on Switch 2 users because they can play games from older consoles. He might be flexing, but if you ask me, he earned that flex. My tweet has nothing to do with Mario 64 quality, and more so it's a game that isn't worth bragging about. Well, my response has everything to do with why you think the game isn't worth bragging about. More specifically, a game not worth bragging about being able to emulate. Well, the reason why that guy was bragging is because you can't play Super Mario 64 on the Switch without owning Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which has a limited release and is now discontinued because Nintendo hates you and thinks Super Mario Galaxy 2 is not important in the grand scheme of things. Oh, yep, I forgot another method, which is to subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online and get a few select Nintendo 64 games and other classics. Only a few select though, and you have to pay online for that. And you wonder why people sail the seas. For real, I was playing Smash 64 on my phone in high school. That's amazing. I hope that touchscreen doesn't hinder your gaming experience. It was 3 games in 1 at $60. Were you really expecting them to keep it as part of the eShop permanently? Yes, and you wonder why people pirate these Nintendo games, right? And that's all for the video today. Here's the cat. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, leave some tips, just $1 down below, and thanks for watching.